Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, The Riddler, and I'm joined here today by
Solzy,
Kendall,
and Mock.
And today we're here to introduce our podcast all about sports and getting drunk with it.
Kicking it off.
So, as the format will go, just talk about sports. We're a bunch of degenerates who enjoy sports. We enjoy drinking. Some of us enjoy sports more than drinking. Some of us enjoy drinking more than sports.
Some of us wear socks on our hands.
And that's right. Solzy's wearing socks on his hands per a lost bet on his end. So he will be doing his inaugural podcast socked.
But he wants the name Sock Hands. We're not going to give it to him.
That's right. For those of you at home, you may refer to him as Mojito, Pickles, or Rudy.
Man of many names.
Yes. Kendall's also known as the Iceman, and Mock is also known as Machine Washable.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's a nickname that even if he doesn't want it to, will stick.
It's not good.
It's good. But anyway,
I like it.
So on the show, every show we'll start off, we'll introduce to you what we're drinking. Today's kind of a bland one because we have some leftover beers we brought from a recent trip. But we will do that. Look at that. That's the sound of success.
I wanted to do that. That was my plan the entire time.
That sounded nice.
Yeah.
And then we'll just talk about topics. Not necessarily hot issues in today's sports media world. LeBron, Jordan debates, things like that. A lot of it will be give and go about certain things. We'll have different subject matters, and it'll be a lot of fun.
I should preface saying that this is not my normal voice.
No, it is. It's his normal voice. He should
touch a laryngitis.
Such a laryngitis.
Just a touch.
No, he's lying.
Touch a cuckold is what it is.
That's what it is.
He's finally going through puberty.
That's it. Took 25 years.
All right. Well, you'll be able to figure out what the show's about throughout the episodes and hearing us ramble. So today's show, given the time frame of year it is, will be a more current event show as our own inside analysis, Kyle Sock Hands, Mojito, Rudy, Pickle Souls, will be giving us the breakdown on some NBA draft. Is that right, Kyle?
That is correct.
Are you excited?
Very.
Good, because we're not. So we'll jump into what we're drinking and jump right back into the show. I'm the only one drinking something different. I have a craft beer today. I'm drinking Two Roads, the Tanker Truck series, the Persian Lime Ghost. If you like sours.
It was good.
It is. It's very good. Very refreshing. And then these fine three gentlemen who'd like to introduce the beer. I give it to Kendall.
All right. So I'd like to preface this. We went to Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, Machine Washable. Mock couldn't make it, but next time, because now that we have this beer, we've tried it for the first time. We've been to Pittsburgh, 5 times now? 6 times now. And we had no idea this beer existed. We discovered the Miller Lite of Pittsburgh, pretty much. It's
Yikes.
It's Icy Light. And it's very
short for Iron City Brewing.
Iron City Brewing, Pittsburgh's own. And we have the Pittsburgh Pirates logo on it right here in camo. And it's pretty much like a Miller Lite.
I do like the can.
It's a cool can.
It is a cool can.
They have others. We got this at the liquor store behind Giant Eagle, the affiliates of Stop and Shop.
Another place we had no idea existed after all these times of going there.
Giant Eagle, we went there.
No. The liquor store the beer store behind it. Now, we're from Connecticut where everything is mixed together. Liquor stores are also carryings of wine and beer. New York has just liquor and wine stores. You get beer. In Pittsburgh, they have the grocery store carries wine and beer in non-large quantities. Then they have stores that strictly only carry beer by the case. All they sell is
warehouse,
and we've
beer.
never needed. Wow. We've usually brought our own beer. But this place only sells full cases and 30s.
Yeah, we're never bringing beer again. We're just gonna go there.
But anyway, we spent enough time. We'll delve into the show. We've already run out of some of Kyle's time. Kyle, are you gonna need your notebook for this?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Is that something you should have grabbed before we started?
I did, but then Paul threw it.
Well, we'll let you go get the notebook, and we'll set up the show. So basically, the way this is going to work is we're not going to do a mock draft. It just takes too long of a time to do. So Solzy, the insider analysis, is going to be giving you what he believes is the 5 most important draft picks this season coming up. Steals or sleeper players that he thinks might be very important players in the later round of the first and second rounds of the draft there. And he's going to give some insight on some potential trades he thinks is going to happen, which is a very hot issue right now, especially with the talks of Paul George and whatnot. So, Kyle, I'd like you to lead it off. Why don't you go ahead and tell us who you think the 5 best players in this draft are?
Well, the 5 best players are going to be the 5 first picks, and that's Fultz, Ball, Jackson, Tatum, and Fox.
I'd like to dive in just real quick. We'll side note it. Did anybody here see the Lonzo Ball Foot Locker commercial?
I haven't seen it. I saw
No,
the
not yet.
headline for it.
It's absolutely, it's so funny if you haven't seen it. It's these top prospect players, most of which that Kyle just named, and they're just talking about their relationships with their dad, and every time someone says something, Lonzo Ball cuts in with like this things like your dad doing interviews with reporters during your high school senior night game, your dad telling Magic Johnson and 31 other teams don't bother drafting him because he's going to be a Laker. The guy who copyrights your name so he can launch his own shoe company. It's very funny, like Lonzo Ball kind of accepting what he's accepting what his father is in the media. I think it's a lot of fun. But so give us some little background real quick. Would you give us the position this player plays and the NBA player they're most likely to mold themselves after, who they're most likely going to be like?
All right, so we'll start off with Markelle Fultz. Point guard. I have him going to Boston, and he's kind of like a Damian Lillard. He takes a lot of erratic shots from half the time to go in, and he's going to be the main point of the Celtics moving forward because who knows how long Isaiah Thomas sticks around. Markelle Fultz, to me, is probably the most ready player out of the draft.
Now, can he play the 2 if they need him to?
Yeah, he can. It's just more of the fact that he's...
So if he goes to the Celtics, we're talking about some not immediate playing time.
Yeah, he won't play much. He'll be like Jaylen Brown, like he was this year.
Okay.
I just want to put it a second. As a side note, I knew Bach was going to hate the beer. You should have seen the face he
It's
just
not
made.
good.
It's good.
Move on.
To the Lakers, I have Lonzo Ball, which everybody kind of think that's going to happen. But recent reports are showing that the Lakers kind of are going a different route and maybe even taking Josh Jackson out of Kansas.
So let me ask you this. If Lonzo Ball does become a Laker, which you said is kind of the main thought process, is he going to follow the same thing as the Markelle Fultz? Is he going to be sitting on the bench while D'Angelo Russell runs the show?
No.
Or is he going to come in and be an immediate 2 for that team?
He'll be the 1.
So D'Angelo Russell will be the 2.
Russell will be the 2. But I'll touch later on what I think is going to happen with that Lakers team. And then 3 to the Sixers and Josh Jackson. He's a tricky player. Very good offensively, gets a lot of rebounds. The thing about him is that he doesn't have a high motor, and he takes a lot of plays off, which in the NBA, you can tell right away if the players are taking plays off. But he's exactly what the Sixers need. They need a scoring weapon if they're going to let Simmons play the 1, and hopefully Embiid can stay healthy. And they just need that extra score, so they don't have to rely on Robert Covington for points and T.J. McConnell. And then Phoenix, Jason Tatum. They could have went De'Aaron Fox, but they have 7 point guards on that team. And they need a 3, because T.J. Warren ain't that great of a player.
Would an 8th one really hurt?
And then the King, De'Aaron Fox. They need a point guard. And a lot of people are saying that he's the best player in this draft.
Do you agree with that?
I do not.
All right.
And it's just, the Kings need a lot of pieces after the Cousins trade. And he's just going to be one of those guys to make their rebuild go along fast.
All right. So you have the Kyle Souls best 5 coming into this rookie class for the NBA season. Now, Mark, I'd like to ask you.
What's up?
I know that of all the sports we talk about, basketball is probably your weakest suit.
Yep.
But you've done your research, and you're an avid sports enthusiast. What do you think of Lonzo Ball? Do you think that he's going to be... Do you think the media is kind of overplaying into what the LeVar Ball situation will be like if he goes somewhere? Do you think it's going to cause problems for the team? Not necessarily the players, but fan bases and media and whatnot. Do you think Lonzo Ball carries the baggage that is his father with him to the NBA, or do you think his father kind of calms down a little bit in the NBA?
I think his dad's going to be there the whole time, especially in LA, big market. He wants his kid there. There's so much pressure put on Lonzo now before he's even done anything in the NBA. He hasn't taken a shot. So, I mean, if he comes in and flops, it's going to ruin his whole career. I don't think he'll have the opportunity to even have like a bounce back. It'll derail him if he can't live up to what his dad has put forward.
Kendall, let me ask you: Do you? No, like Mark said, the flop thing. No, it's not entirely uncommon. I think Kyle can agree that some great players come out of these NBA drafts that are projected to do amazing things and don't have great first 1, 2, sometimes 3, 4 seasons, and then they pick up. They're not always great right out. They're not Derrick Rose's out of the gate. They're not, Anthony Davis's and Giannis's. They're not LeBron James. But some players take time to develop. Do you think if Lonzo Ball does have a not so hot first, second season, especially with what Kyle said, thinking he's going to jump right into the starting lineup and be an impactful part of this team, do you think he'll be able to recover given all the media attention he's already received pre-NBA?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to hear Lonzo Ball's name for a long time. Just maybe not as like a LeBron James type player, but I think we're always going to hear his name. And I think LeVar is going to be there every step of the way. And I'll tell you what, he's going to get a TV show or a radio show. I know it.
I'm pretty sure it's already in the works.
If it's not already in the works, it will be. He's just got such an in-your-face personality. They'll give that
other
guy
than
a
that,
show.
it's just he makes statements that people like to argue with, and there's
Exactly.
nothing people like to listen to more than things they disagree with.
I love the guy. The guy's completely absurd. The greatest thing he's ever said was, "I have never lost a pickup game of basketball."
I'm pretty sure too. Like it was noted that he only played 41 pickup games of basketball or something like that.
How could you sit there? That's like me saying I have never burnt toast ever in my life.
It is a funny statement, but I agree. I think it's a market. But do you think if he crashes and burns in his first 2 seasons, do you think there's the Johnny Manziel type, not necessarily
Absolutely.
leaving the league, but do you think if he crashes and burns in his first 2 years, like I'm saying, he has an abysmal first 2 years? Do you think that, especially with all the pressure that's already on him, let alone the pressure that will be added if he's not good, do you think he has the ability to kind of become a Michael Beasley or an OJ Mayo, kind of just a role player that moves from team to team that just kind of needs him?
For me, if he crashes and burns, he has to go to a small market team. That'd be the only way he'd be able to bounce back.
Okay. I see you disagreeing over here.
See,
And keep in mind, I know what you're saying. I know he's a ready player and everything. I'm saying, but there are ready players that don't have what it takes the first 2 years.
Lonzo's very talented.
But if he is unable to perform in his first 1 or 2 years, do you think he can, given all the media pressure that's going to be put on him already, plus what he's going to get once he gets drafted, do you think a big market team like the LA Lakers, he'll be able to bounce back in that type of market?
I do. One, he's from LA, so he knows how all the heat is over there.
He doesn't.
And not the temperature either, right?
No, the NBA team.
Come on.
That was funny.
I think wherever he goes, he's going to be able to handle the media just fine, with or without his dad.
All right.
It'll always be with his dad.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me say this. If he doesn't go to the Lakers, his dad will not be there. If he goes to Philadelphia, his dad cannot be there.
Why?
Because he's going to be home. He's going to be in L.A.
We live in a social media world. If he's not there physically,
It's different from
he's
social
still
media
there.
and physically being there.
He can still run his mouth online.
Doesn't matter. The team won't have to deal with him like they will in L.A.
I think Lonzo can handle the criticism, but he'll forever be the second microphone to his father. And I don't think it will affect his play, because I think he's dealt with it already his entire high school and collegiate career. I think he's just conditioned.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But I think you're right. I think not necessarily the most positive ways, but I do think that you're never going to be able to hear the name Lonzo Ball without thinking of the name LeVar Ball.
I agree.
It's much like, and I'm not saying that he's not going to be a great player, because it's kind of the reverse. We're looking at Lonzo Ball having the potential to be a phenomenal breakout NBA star, where his father was not. But I mean, it just, you look at things like, it happens to a lot of players. I mean, but Patrick Ewing Jr. You couldn't talk about Patrick Ewing Jr. without bringing up Patrick Ewing. You can't bring up certain NBA players. Like when Karl Malone played, you couldn't bring up Karl Malone without talking about Moses Malone.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be a more Karl Malone or if he's going to be a more Patrick Ewing Jr. because we've had busts, plenty of busts. Greg Oden. I mean, that name alone, Greg Oden could have been one of the greatest big men to play the game and tanked hard. But so, Kyle, what do you got for some? As we know, the NBA draft it's a lot smaller than the drafts we're used to watching for football and baseball and stuff like that. It's 2 rounds, and traditionally, your first 15 to 20 picks are the players that are well scouted. Everybody works them out. Everybody tries to figure out what they're all about because it's easier to trade up than it is in the NFL and whatnot. It's not as deep every year. I mean, 20 players is a very deep NBA draft. That's deep. And when you keep in mind there's 64 picks or 60 picks. So who do you have going in the later stages of the first round that could potentially be a sleeper or a steal for some of these teams that might have a breakout season that, a traditional 1 through 5 pick would have?
Right now, Harry Giles out of Duke, I think has a promise of being a very talented superstar in this league. He didn't play a lot at Duke. He had a lot of injuries. He only played in maybe 3 games. But I have him slotted here at 19 to the Hawks. The Hawks are a team that like to gamble, and he's the perfect gamble in this situation. A kid with a lot of promise. Their team is kind of starting to rebuild, and it's just a matter of fact of if he can stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he can perform very well with everybody else.
Mark, I see you ready to chime in with some.
That was just a really funny way to pronounce my name. I don't know. This might be my year. I've been trying to get drafted for 4 years now to the NBA.
You think you're going to be a late pick? I have you slotted a little bit higher.
I could be a sleeper. Teams need assists. That's all I offer.
No, but that's just it. You're not assists. You're assist.
Wow.
Kyle, what other players do you have going late in this round here?
OG Anunoby, small forward out of Indiana. This guy can help right away.
Guy's got a fun name.
Can you spell it for me, Kyle?
OGANUOBY.
That's one word?
Yeah.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Shut up. The Thunder were missing a lot of offense this year, besides Russell Westbrook. And they need someone to take over the whole Kevin Durant spot. And this kid can shoot the ball. He can rebound. Plays very good defense. He's just one of those kids that doesn't really have the size and length. It's just I believe that you put him in Oklahoma City, let him learn for a couple of years, and then he can start becoming more and more of a scorer at each and every year.
So you're saying this player is the potential to be a breakout star, but it's going to take him at least 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, is there anybody on the bottom part of this list that you think has the potential to be a breakout star for a team day one?
Center Jordan Bell out of Oregon. If he goes to San Antonio, I guarantee that he will be an all-star in 2 years.
But that's not day one. I want day one.
No, he's going to be very good. He won't be an all-star off the bat. He'll be a starting center for the Spurs.
Okay. What about Pau Gasol?
He's a free agent.
Where do you think he goes?
Honestly, there's talks about him going back to Memphis. They'll go play the brother for the last couple of years.
All right. You ever seen Pau Gasol, Mark?
Yes.
He looks like someone that used to smoke a carton of cigarettes a day and used to weigh 500 more pounds. He's got a very flabby neck.
13 years old.
Yeah, he's got a very flabby neck. All right, so it'd be interesting, and like I said, there are traditionally the second round. The whole second round is essentially like the 7th round of the NFL draft. Keep in mind, there's only 2 rounds in the NBA draft, and the second round is just irrelevant.
Now, I've watched a couple of drafts with you, Kyle. How long? I can't remember. How long does it usually take?
About 3 hours.
3 hours, and what time does it start?
7.
7.
Keep in mind, the whole NBA draft takes about 2 hours less than the first round of the NFL draft.
It's so ridiculous.
The NFL, though, also makes it a spectacle.
I know.
The other thing, too, is that the NBA, we talked about with the NBA versus a lot of other sports, you don't really see a lot of players that get drafted really high up. I mean, Kemba Walker was probably a standout in my mind, but you don't see a lot of players that go the distance in college and then are drafted in the top 5 picks. I mean, it does happen, but traditionally. It's a lot of 1 year, maybe 2 year players. So the other thing to keep in mind is, are you done?
Yeah, sorry.
How rude.
The other thing to keep in mind is a lot of these players, they don't have a lot to showcase in terms of like the NFL will show you, okay, all right, Mitch Trubisky was just picked. We're going to show you a 45-minute highlight package from everything he's done from the day of birth to now. The NBA does not do that. They show you like 6 plays in the highlight package from college, and that's it.
A couple of nice jump shots and move on.
Yeah, that's about it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, I mean, you do get players that come out late in the first round and do very well, but we're not really sure. So, Kyle, before we have to sign off, do you have any trades you think might go down?
I believe that the 3 with the Sixers can trade with the King for the 5 and 10. And I believe that because the Kings want Darren Fox, and a lot of people think Darren Fox might go to the Sixers. So trading up would solidify them making that pick.
Any other big trades? Do you think Paul George moves for an up and draft pick?
The only play that makes sense is Boston, trading the first pick for Paul George. Other than that, I think he stays put.
I know there was talks about the potential for the Lakers trading for Paul George. Is that all hearsay, or do you think there's some truth behind it?
They won't trade him. They'll wait for next year for free agency.
So do you think at the end of it, when it's all said and done, do you think Paul George remains a Pacer for this year?
Yes. He will stay put in Indiana just for 1 more year. See if they can do something with that team. If not, he'll walk.
Keep in mind, this is all from the mouth of our insider, Kyle Mojito Pickles Rudy Sockhand Souls.
He was in the locker room.
Now, did Kyle make a full draft? Did you make a full draft? So what we should do is, we did this for the NFL. We're going to post your draft, and we're going to see how many you get right. So we should guess to see how many we think he's going to get right, and then whoever loses takes a shot next show.
I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to get 13 right.
13.
I'm going to roll with 12.
Wow. Kyle, I'm sorry, I have no faith in you. I'm going to go 6.
I have no faith in myself. I'm going to go 4.
I'd like to be on record that Mock picked 12. He Price is Right cuckold me.
Nope. 12 is my favorite number, and I know nothing about the NBA, so ran with it.
What a character. Well, I think that's about time to wrap it up here. We'll see you next week. We'll be talking about some interesting topics, including if Kyle Souls smells worse than Draymond Green.
Before we sign off, you guys can find us on Facebook at Getting Sports with Drunk, and also on Instagram. That's where we'll be posting Kyle's mock draft and anything in the future.
And Mock's, future health reports.
Yes.
So, from all of us here at Getting Sports with Drunk, I'm the Riddler.
I'm Solzy.
I'm Kendall.
I'm Mock.
And remember that Mock is a supporter of Kevin Nash. We'll see you next time.
Nope.